Hello, this is Steve Hassinger, Career Services Director at Central Penn College. In this video, we're going to take a look at Holland Codes, or some people might say Holland Types. If you're watching this video, it means that you've already created a Focus account and you should know how to log into Focus. I've already done that, and I'm now on the main menu in Focus. We're going to concentrate on the self-assessment section, and specifically we're going to look at the work interest assessment. You'll notice that all the other assessments I've already completed. However, since you're just starting with Focus, you're not going to see any check marks here until after you've done an assessment. So when we click on work interest assessments, it will say that in my case the records indicate that I've already started or completed this assessment earlier. So I'm going to click here to continue, and I can go through each question and I can review my answers. In your case, because you haven't started this yet, you're going to have to answer each of these questions. And you want to take your time as you do this, and remember that there's no right or wrong answers. It's all about you and what your preferences are. So I'm going to scroll through these quickly just so I can show you what the report would be like at the end. And to give you an example of one of these questions, this one says, to what degree would you enjoy studying earthquakes to predict when and where they will most likely occur? In my case, I'm not very into science, so I don't think I would really enjoy that very much. So I put not at all. You can answer not at all, to a slight degree, to a moderate degree, to a high degree, or to a very high degree. So as I work through all of these and make sure that I've answered them, at the very end, when I finish, I'm going to see a bar graph that looks like this. In my case, you'll see that I have a tie score for my second and third highest scores, enterprising and investigative. So it's going to give me a description of enterprising and investigative, and it's going to ask me to choose which of those I think sounds more like me. And in this case, I've read the description before, and I would choose enterprising. And now when I continue, I can see my work interest profile summary. This is based on the work of Dr. John Holland, who theorized that people in work environments could essentially be classified into 6 different groups. Those 6 different groups are realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. If you look at my results, you'll see that social is by far my highest score, and then enterprising and investigative. I scored 0 on artistic because I have very little, if any, artistic ability. And I also scored very low on conventional and realistic. Underneath your chart, you're going to find a description. People who score high in social are considered the helpers. They prefer to work with others. They tend to be highly verbal, express themselves well, get along well in groups, prefer the team approach to problem solving, often describe themselves as cooperative, friendly, and understanding, enjoy teaching, caring for others, volunteering, mediating disputes, meeting new people, and working in groups. That sounds pretty much like me. Not 100% because I didn't score 100, but the higher you score, the more the description should sound like you. In my case, for instance, I don't particularly like mediating disputes, but most of the rest of that description sounds pretty much like me. So my Holland code, or my Holland type, would be the first letter from each of these top 3 categories: social, enterprising, and investigative. So my Holland code would be SEI. Here's another way to look at your Holland code. On this hexagon, you're going to see all 6 of the Holland areas: conventional, realistic, investigative, artistic, social, and enterprising. And you can take a look at your top score and see how it describes you. So again, in my case, social. Prefer direct service or helping opportunities involving advising, counseling, coaching, mentoring, teaching, or group discussion drawn to humanistic or social causes. So it's very similar to what I saw in the report, but a little bit more detail perhaps. One more hexagon to show you is this one. And on this hexagon, you're going to see blue lines, green lines, and red lines. If your top two Holland codes are connected by a blue line, like mine are with social and enterprising, it means that when you read those descriptions, they're fairly similar. If your top two codes are connected by a green line, there's more difference there, but they're still fairly similar. The people who sometimes have a difficult time figuring out what major is the right fit for them or what types of careers they'd like to perform are those people whose top two scores are connected by a red line. Because if you read the description for social and realistic, or for conventional and artistic, you'll see that they sound very, very different. If that's the case, it doesn't mean that you're weird or strange. It just means that you might want to contact Career Services and discuss the results of your Holland Codes more in depth. Many times it may just be that there's a particular job that those top two scores would be a good fit for. For instance, our physical therapy assisting students often have top scores of social and realistic, because social are the people who enjoy working with other people, the helping professions. Realistic are the people who enjoy working with their hands. As a physical therapist assistant, you're going to be required to do both because you're working with people, but you're also working with equipment every day. The last thing we want to show you with this is that with each section, you're going to have a list of some jobs and some majors that look like they would be a good fit. So in this case, you can see some of the jobs and some of the majors that look like they would be a good fit based simply upon my work interest. In the next video, we're going to show you how to combine the results of all 5 of your assessments to further explore some of these career options. If you'd like additional details on Holland Codes, please contact Career Services.